Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a dramatic green smoky eye makeup look. My last festive look was quite soft and simple, so I thought I'll do something a little more dramatic this time. I hope you will enjoy this video. So I'm going to start with my eyes first. I'm using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil and the shade I'm using is called Night Chevalier. This is a dark, dirty khaki green color and it's got a bit of shimmer as well. And this forms a nice base for eyeshadows. So I have applied this all over the lid and then I'm blending it to soften the edges using a fluffy brush. And then I'm reapplying it in the area closest to the lash line just to intensify the color a bit. And I'm also applying this along my lower lash line. Next I'm going to use this eyeshadow quad by Avon. I got this online from Nykaa. I'm using the shade marked number 3, which is a khaki green color, and I'm going to apply this all over the lid area right on top of the NYX Jumbo Pencil base. This is a really pretty eyeshadow. It's got a really nice shine, looks quite festive, but by itself it's a little sheer, so it's best applied over some kind of a smudged pencil base. Now I'm just using a fluffy blending brush just to soften the edges in the crease. Next I'm going to take the shade marked 4, which is a dark emerald green, and I'm going to apply this in the outer corner of my eye using a small pencil brush. This one is by Sigma. And that just adds a nice smoky gradient to the look. I'm also using that dark color along my lower lash line. Now going back in with my blending brush just to make sure that there are no harsh edges and the dark green color is well blended into the crease. Now I'm taking a kajal. This is the Faces Magneteyes kajal, and I'm tight lining my waterlines using this, which is super important for a smoky eye look. I'm also applying this a little bit along my upper lash line and immediately smudging it with a brush to get a smudgy smoky effect. Now coming back to the face, I'm using the Sephora smoothing primer first. This just softens the look of pores and gives a nice smooth finish to the skin. You can also use the Color Bar primer instead of this. Next, I'm going to mix in a little bit of the LA Girl Pro BB cream with the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. The L'Oreal foundation is a little too matte and a bit dry on my skin, so I like to always mix it with something else. The good thing though is that it gives really good coverage. It's quite long lasting. But just to make it a little more wearable on my skin, I like to mix it with something else. And this time I've used the L'Oreal Pro BB cream, which just makes it a little more emollient and just makes the texture a little more workable. And for my under eyes, I'm just adding a little bit of orange corrector using my MAC palette. And then using the YBP Skin Perfector sponge, I'm just dabbing all that foundation and BB cream mix into my skin to get a flawless and even base. Once everything is well blended, I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm using once again my MAC palette in medium. I'm going to mix the shades NC35 and NC30. When you're doing a smoky eye and if you're going really heavy on the lower lash line like I have done in this case, you need to make sure that your under eye is properly corrected and concealed. Otherwise it can just make the under eye bags look worse. And because I used the orange corrector and then the concealer on top, my under eye is now properly concealed and the smoky eye doesn't make my eyes look dull. To set everything, I'm going to use the Clinique loose powder, which is my go-to powder at the moment. I'm making sure I conceal my under eyes, powder my under eyes really well, because the concealer I've used is quite creamy and it creases if it's not properly set. I'm also using the powder generously in areas where I tend to get a bit oily. Now going back in with my clean blending brush, just softening those edges, because once you apply concealer you get a bit of a harsh line, and I want to make sure everything is well blended, quite smoky, because this is a smoky eye look. For my brows, I'm going to use the Shiseido brow styling kit. I'm just mixing in these two powders and filling in the gaps in my brows. If you're on the lookout for something similar but not as expensive, you can try the Natio brow kit, which is available online. Now coming to the lashes, I'm curling my lashes and then I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Magnum Barbie mascara. This is a fiber based mascara, so if you build up the layers before it dries, you can actually get a nice dramatic look. I'm not the biggest fan of this mascara though, because it's very difficult to build. Once a layer dries up, it's difficult to build up more volume. And for more volume, I'm going to use these pair of false eyelashes from Amazon. I'll put the link to buy these online in the description box below. I've used these in another tutorial of mine and I absolutely love how these look. They are quite dramatic though, so you have to be a bit careful. You may need to trim these. Next, I'm going to go in with the Bahama Mama Bronzer, and I'm using this to contour my face. This is a matte bronzer. It's got a slight cool tone, so it's perfect for contouring. I'm applying this under my cheekbones as well as along my jawline to give my face a more chiseled and sculpted look. To add some color to my cheeks, I'm using Creamy Cinnamon Blush by Maybelline. This is one of my favorite neutral colors. It's a very flattering, earthy color with a hint of pink, and it's got a matte finish. It looks really natural on the skin. Then to add some glow, I'm using one of my favorite highlighters, which is the Revlon Cheek Highlighting Palette in the shade Bronze Glow. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you may remember I used to use this a lot in my looks. I'm using the top two colors, the lightest colors from this palette, and using a fan brush just to add a nice golden glow to my cheekbones. For my lips, I've chosen a dusty brownish rose color. This is the Maybelline Lip Gradation Crayon in the shade Mauve, and I'm not using any lip liner or anything, just going in straight with this lip color. This is actually a great color for everyday makeup as well. And that is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked this dramatic green smoky eye look. If you try this out during the Navratri, let me know how it turns out. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye.